Boulevard of Bold Dreams is about it's set during the 1940s, during the most pivotal moment in Hollywood history, during the Academy Awards, where Hattie McDaniel, the first African American woman to be nominated and to ultimately win. But the play specifically is about her stumbling into this bar, meeting this bartender named Arthur Brooks, who is this dreamer who came from Alabama to LA to become like this movie director. And she also meets um a sharp-tongued maid who speaks everything that's on her mind. And these three characters, they start to learn a lot about themselves and the world that they live in. um and it's really interesting because Hattie McDaniel, that's all she played on screen were maids. And to see her actually meet a maid and to trade perspectives on representation, um it's very interesting. And I wrote it because, well, one, I was always very, very interested in Hattie McDaniel and just her story, because we always see her winning the Oscar and the infamous uh Gone with the Wind movie. But I was very interested to see what was happening with her behind closed doors. That's how I usually do when it comes to like these plays and stories. Like, I'm just really interested in characters' lives behind closed doors. So I kind of set it in this fictional. It's still fictional, but it's still like kind of like a retelling of her going to the bar, the Coconut Grove, where the Academy Awards is held, in the same hotel, hours before the ceremony. And her life is changed. And so I wrote it because I was dealing with a lot, as far as like, I'm personally from Alabama, and moved to LA to become this filmmaker, the screenwriter, this, to attain this Hollywood dream. But being out here in LA for 7 years, it's not as glamorous as they show it on TV. And it's a lot of ups and it's a lot of downs. It seems like it's a lot of more downs than ups. Um, and during the time I wrote it, during literally when the pandemic just hit on March 2020. And um like Arthur and Dottie and Hattie, I was feeling hopeless in achieving this dream of becoming this filmmaker in Hollywood. And I was, during that time, I was actually homeless. I was sleeping in my car when I wrote the first draft of Boulevard of Bold Dreams. And so it was kind of like my love letter to my passion, because I was on the verge of giving up. And so I created Arthur, who is this big dreamer, who's never going to give up, even though literally the cards are stacked against him. And I created Hattie because, well, Hattie, of course, she's monumental in our history, but I created Dottie as well because I was a cynic. I was very cynical about certain aspects of this dream. And so, yeah, that's why I wrote the play. It was cathartic. I needed to write it because I was dealing with my own issues as far as being an artist out here in LA, just trying to make it.